long before the first snap is ever taken, and well beyond the last game of every season, the name of one player reigns high above.
The Jack Trice story is one about a hero.
Biographer Steve Jones knows the story well of the first African-American football player in Iowa State history who broke through the color barrier in 1923, 24 years before Jackie Robinson did the same in professional baseball.
You got to put it in context with the times. 1923, racism was rampant. Jack Trice could not have played football just anywhere, but his high school coach came to Iowa State, became the head coach, brought some players along, including Jack Trice. Freshman didn't compete in his first year, but his second year he immediately established himself as a star on the line.
The story of Trice has been a source of inspiration for many players who have tried to follow in his footsteps, like Carlos Blunt, who played for the Cyclones shortly after the stadium was officially renamed to honor the football hero in 1997, thanks to a major push by the student body.
When we got a chance to choose our numbers, I wanted to emulate, try to follow those footsteps to take take it to the next level. So I chose number 37 because Jack Trice wore number 37. He was an animal husbandry was his degree, and ag biz was my degree. So there's a lot of correlations there.
Trice's legacy centers around the second game of his college career, a contest that took the Cyclones north against the Minnesota Golden Gophers.
As best as we can tell, Jack Trice was staying at a different hotel from his team. At about dinner time, they had a team meal at the hotel. One of the players came in late, and he sits down and he notices something's not right. And then he says, "Where's Jack?" Well, he learned that the hotel would not allow Jack in the dining room.
He wasn't a part of the team, even though he was the man on the team. He couldn't be a part of that. Today, that's a big part of any athlete's preparation, is being a part of that brotherhood. Jack Trice couldn't be a part of that brotherhood, yet he still had to go out and execute and perform.
The game itself proved as difficult as the Cyclones had prepared for, tied 7-7 at halftime, with Trice playing on the defensive line, and some accounts claiming he was repeatedly targeted by opposing players.
And then all of a sudden, one play in the third quarter up there changed everything for Iowa State. The ball went one way. Jack Trice came in there, and as best as we could tell, he tried to do a roll block. That was an unsafe play and not even taught at that time. A roll block is you go in there, you roll yourself into the blockers go down, the other defenders make the tackle. What we think happened is that Jack Trice tried the roll block, but instead of ending up on his stomach, he ended up on his back, leaving his torso exposed. After a big pileup, players get up, and all of a sudden they realize, hey, Jack is still on the field.
His response to that was to get up and go back for his team. They had to take him off the field, make him stop playing. It wasn't about him, it was about the team.
Trice was sent to an area hospital where he was treated and released. 2 days later, on October 8, 1923, he died from injuries received in the game. Prior to his funeral on the Iowa State campus, a note was discovered inside one of Trice's suit coats, written on hotel stationery the night before the game.
My thoughts just before the first real college game of my life. The honor of my race, family, and self is at stake. Everyone is expecting me to do big things. I will. My whole body and soul are to be thrown recklessly about the field tomorrow. Every time the ball is snapped, I will be trying to do more than my part. On all defensive plays, I must break through the opponent's line and stop the play in their territory. Beware of mass interference, fight low with your eyes open and towards the play. Watch out for cross bucks and reverse end runs. Be on your toes every minute if you expect the good. Jack.
When I first read a note, and the times we read it, before game, pre-game, or just doing practice, it spoke a lot to his integrity and character. Again, I go back to this was not about a football game for him. This was about a legacy that he knew that he was starting out on.
And that note has forever been one of the most enduring pieces of Iowa State history.
Encapsulated in time just outside the gates of the stadium named in his honor, the legacy of Jack Trice lives on.
Here we have the only major college football stadium in America named after an African American, and I think that's significant. Once again, we can't overemphasize how important it was that here was a man who dedicated himself in a time when he was not welcome to play at every university in America, and then died in the process. So I think it's very, very fitting that this stadium bears his name.
Jack Trice, his vision was paramount and surpassed anyone's vision today, let alone at that time. He was not thinking about the football game. He was thinking about Carlos Blunt. He was thinking about Hiawatha Rutland. He was thinking about Coach Mack. He was thinking about all the opportunities that laid ahead of him. He knew that what he was doing, he was, as he said, he was a pioneer in this field and what he was trying to accomplish. He wasn't doing it for himself.
Well, we all have our favorite superhero growing up who can inspire us to do good things in life. A 7-year-old boy in Ballard has grown quite fond of Batman, and the inspiration he takes from The Dark Knight is helping him overcome something most kids his age will never face.
Here is Elias Johnson with the story of how the entire community made sure his recent birthday was one he will never forget.
It's the last-minute cram session before the bus arrives.
Have to look for the stuff on here.
Something Katie Princehouse has come to expect from her son, Alex.
He's a pretty typical, ornery 6-year-old boy.
Luckily, Mom has Nurse Terry to help with their morning routine at home.
The green or the white. When it's on red, it means it's out of oxygen.
And that assistance continues throughout the entire school day.
So he has children's interstitial lung disease, but specifically is knee-high plus.
Basically, Alex has a hard time getting the oxygen he needs through lung tissue and into his red blood cells, which can wear him down trying to keep up with classmates in Ms. Brown's first grade class.
The kids love him. He loves the kids. He's the first kid to go try and help out his friends. They are so good with him. They just treat him like a normal, everyday kid.
He takes a nap most days at school. We've had to arrange for a place to do that at school in a time that is appropriate to miss out on schoolwork. It's been rough. He's resilient.
As predictable as the oxygen line he wears is the subtle symbol he proudly displays.
Alex has loved Batman since as long as I can remember. You know, Batman saves the day, so I think there's got to be some appeal there.
When it came time to celebrate his 7th birthday, the theme his friends and family selected wasn't a big surprise. But having the real Dark Knight waiting, the reaction speaks for itself.
Happy birthday. How you doing?
Good.
Turns out Batman was looking forward to some R&R with his biggest fan.
The least that I can do is give a little bit of my time and some words of encouragement and just let them know that they're strong enough to keep on fighting. You want to see the Bat car?
After a few birthday surprises,
here is my weapons compartment.
And a tour of the bells and whistles.
Watch this.
It was time for a spin.
Do you want to go for a little ride? We'll just go for a short one around the park, okay?
And a big decision for Alex.
Who's your favorite person in the whole world?
Making this first grader the most popular kid in school. Turns out, everyone had to take a back seat to Mom.
You have been selected. You can jump in the back and we'll go for a ride.
There may come a time years from now when Alex won't need to be tethered to oxygen. When that day comes, he'll have more than an old tank to remind him of being Batman's second in command and the kid everyone wanted to be like.
I heard him tonight say he wants to be a police officer when he grows up. I haven't heard that yet.
And that's enough to put a smile on even the toughest critic's face.
Happy birthday to you.
From Ballard, Elias Johnson, Local 5 News. We are Iowa.
Great kid. Alex's older brother and sister have the same rare lung disease, but they don't have to rely on oxygen each day. The Iowa League of Heroes makes a point to visit kids all year long who are facing tough battles. And up next for the family is a trip to Disneyland this weekend through Make-A-Wish.